Disabilities. She has spent more than 40 years working for disability rights and advocating for independent living and full emancipation of all people with disabilities in the U.S. and around the world. A 1993 graduate of Cora's Women in Leadership program, Ms. Starkloff has won numerous awards for her leadership in the field. She has been an event coordinator, a guest lecturer, a keynote speaker, a workshop facilitator for colleges and universities. She has worked with top 500 companies and government organizations, both statewide and nationally, including the St. Louis celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Her expertise includes numerous disability-related topics such as employment, disability history and rights, universal design, public policy, independent living, and many more subjects related to leading a full and productive life. On the 20th anniversary of the ADA, and again on the 25th anniversary, Colleen helped the Missouri History Museum bring disability rights movement exhibition to St. Louis so that thousands of visitors had the opportunity to see and learn about the history and what it is like to live with a disability. In looking back at that effort, Colleen told author Charles E. Claggett Jr., quote, "Hopefully 163,000 people will not only think more positively about disabled people, but also in their role in history. We have changed the view of disability." We are proud to be able to provide this rich learning experience for our students, faculty, staff, and community. Please help St. Louis Community College at Merrimack extend a warm welcome to Colleen Starkloff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to be here. I consider this an honor and a great opportunity for me to be here today because I have some things I want to share with students and people who care about students about disability history, disability rights, and also your role as leaders of the future. So I first want to thank my friend Linda Nissenbaum for inviting me. I've known Linda for a very long time. She's been a very great leader in the world of access to education for students with disabilities, and I appreciate your leadership. Thank you. Thank you. Linda asked me to talk about disability history. It's a favorite subject of mine because I've lived it. My late husband, Max Starkloff, and I spent over 40 years of our lives together working on the rights of people with disabilities. And so in some of what I'm going to say today, I'll be talking about what we didn't have and how we've progressed to what we do have today so that people with disabilities can expect to live a full and productive life in the community, which is what is our passion. And I hope that I remember to tell you some of the stories at the end that have made me so proud and have given me such encouragement to continue on because our work has really been successful. Oh, I forgot the pointer. I have the pointer. I want to let you all know that there have been tremendous people. Some of the most influential and valuable friendships that I have in my life have been with people with disabilities who believe, as I do, that disabled people have the right to full, productive, independent lives in the community, and nothing short of that. And we don't really care what your disability is. What we care about is your emancipation. Ginny Laurie, who is on the right-hand side or the left-hand, depending on how you're looking at it. Ginny Laurie was, I always like to credit Ginny Laurie because Ginny was the one that wrote a letter to my husband, Max, when he was living in a nursing home and said, "What are you doing living in a nursing home?" And that kind of set him on his ear, like, yeah, what am I doing living in a nursing home? And he read some articles that Ginny wrote. She wrote a magazine called the Toomey J Gazette, and later called the Rehabilitation Gazette, and it was all focused on people with disabilities living productive lives, starting really with polio survivors. I met Ginny through Max and loved her, and she was one of my great mentors as I began to learn about independence and never thinking that somebody is, I think, one of the most influential women with disability in the world today. Judy works for the State Department. As a young girl with polio, she was told she couldn't go to school in the New York City public schools because of her wheelchair. She was a fire hazard, and because she needed assistance in the bathroom, and nobody wanted to help a little kid go to the bathroom because, you know, you don't help little kids go to the bathroom in schools. So she just, as she went ahead, her mother was a real fighter. A lot of us have mothers who are fighters, right? And her mother encouraged her to never take no for an answer, and she never did. She graduated with a degree in special education, and she wanted to teach in the New York City schools, and they wouldn't accept her as a teacher, so she sued them, and she won. And she didn't go to teach for them, she became a disability rights advocate. She led a lot of demonstrations in the streets, and I love her. She used to tell me that she used to criticize me for the role of non-disabled people in the movement. She said, as a non-disabled person, Colleen, you have to keep quiet. Well, I didn't keep quiet, but I later realized I have a disability. I have ADHD, and I never did hold it over her head, but she did smirk when I told her, you know, Judy, I have ADHD, and she said, you know, Colin, I can tell by your behavior you've had it for a long time. When did you finally figure it out? I'm like, thanks, Judy. So anyway, some other powerhouses in the disability rights movement are Justin and Yoshiko Dart. We lost Justin in 2003, sadly. Justin, we all consider him to be the father of the ADA. His wife Yoshiko soldiers on without Justin as a real champion of disability rights. And Justin and Yoshiko, Max and I were already together, but Justin and Yoshiko have been great mentors for Max and me. And I march in the streets with Yoshiko every summer in July in Washington. We march on the Capitol, stumping for disability rights, and it's a great joy. The two of us remembering our husbands and carrying on the great work they showed us to do. Ed Roberts, the father of independent living. Ed Roberts contracted polio at age 14. Was told, his mother was told, take him home to keep him comfortable, and nothing, never be anything better than a vegetable. And Ed said, well, as he got older and began to accept who he was and own his disability, Ed said, well, if I'm going to be a vegetable, I think I'll be prickly on the outside and soft in the center where his heart was. And Ed was prickly. He led a lot of demonstrations, and what Ed did was when he got out of school, when he wanted to go to school at the University of California, Berkeley, they didn't want him there because he was on a ventilator and he used a power wheelchair and he needed attendance, and that was a big liability for the school and all yada, yada, yada. So he threatened to sue them, and, well, they let him in. And later, and one of the things they said there is, you'll never be able to have a job. It's like, well, so he said, but they let him in. And Ed later, after he graduated from college, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you the important part. He went to Voc Rehab. How many know who Voc Rehab is? Right? Okay, so California Voc Rehab. He went there in order to go to college and said he wanted to go to college, and his counselor said, no, you'll never be able to get a job, so it's not reasonable for us to spend money on you. Well, I don't remember the details, but he went to college, got a degree, came out, started the Center for Independent Living in Berkeley, the first independent living center in the world, as a disability rights organization. And when he left there, he became the commissioner for Voc Rehab for the state of California. And I said, Ed, was that counselor still working there? He goes, yeah. I said, did you say anything to him? He goes, I didn't have to. So much for that. Lex Frieden is an advocate out of Texas and continues to be a major disability rights leader today. All of us are getting older. None of us are quitting. Make a note of that. None of us are quitting. Because we love what we do. And Lex started an independent living center in Houston and has continued to advocate. And he now teaches at Baylor College of Medicine and he started a research and training center in Houston, the Independent Living Research Utilization Project, which gives a lot of information about independent living. But But all of us, all of these people, and Max and I, had great opportunities to work in independent living disability rights and become good friends. Martha Bristow in Illinois started Access Living in Chicago, which is one of the largest independent living centers in the world today. Martha and Max and I met each other at the Center for Independent Living in Berkeley when we were getting our money to make Paraquat, which Max and I started in 1970, into an independent living center in 1977. We were one of the first 10 federally funded independent living centers in the country. All 10 of us got $200,000 to start independent living centers, and that was a big boon for us. Independent living centers, in case you don't know, are not places where you go live. They're places where you go to learn to live independently and to define your own independence. They are controlled and staffed by a 51% majority of people with disabilities, and they're very much advocates. They advocate public policy, they advocate independence, they advocate being all you can be. So Max and I started Paraquat in St. Louis, which at the time became one of the largest independent living centers in the world.
Professor. We have several of those. I want to nominate my professor. He makes sure that we understand everything. And if you don't, he explains it to you again. He makes learning fun. I would like to ask that the faculty and staff who are here who have a blue card, please proceed to the right side of the stage. And due to teaching and department responsibilities, not every person receiving an award can attend today's ceremony. I'm going to call the names of the award recipients who are in attendance or have asked someone in attendance to represent them. But all of the recipients' names are listed on page 2 of your program. Please hold your applause until all faculty and staff members have been presented their awards, and then we'll have a round of applause at the end of this section. Wow, we got a lot of show up today, yay! Okay, so let's start with, you come forward and give me your card, and then I'll announce you. Thank you so much. This is Robert Oberst. Margaret Batu, Cindy Clausen, Lois Sexton, Diana Johnson, Becky Helbling, Claire Martin, Jason Duchinsky, Angelia Cozart, Christine Smith, Amy Freshwater, and Rick Menendez. And now a round of applause for these recognized members. Okay. So I also have the pleasure of introducing note takers, tutors, and supplemental instructors who are receiving awards. Their names are listed on page 9 of your program. And let's see here. These individuals provide valuable support to students in their classes. Access to lecture notes and class material is a vital part of the learning process. Volunteer note takers also play an important role. Supplemental instructors and tutors help all students who want to step up in learning and understanding their material in challenging classes. All of their hard work is greatly appreciated by us and the students. Some of the things that have been said about these nominees are these note takers in my programming class have helped me very much. I can imagine that's really true. The chemistry tutors are great and have been very helpful. Will those of you who are here to receive your award, please come forward. You should have a yellow card. Hold your ear. hold your applause for these two people. What's their names? Okay, so Jennifer Zesh, thank you, and Tiffany Care. Thank you. Thank you for representing so well. Okay. Next, Renee Dingman will present the Academic Achievement Awards.
Hello, I'm Renee Dingman, and I'm one of the specialists in the Access Office. And it is my pleasure to call forward the group of students who have been nominated to receive an award based on academic achievement for either the spring or fall semesters of 2015. This award is recognition of the successful completion of coursework with a grade point average of 3.0 or above. The students' names are listed on page 4 of your program. Anyone who has attended college knows that achieving a high grade point average takes hard work and dedication. High achievement means using resources and making an extra effort. It means using resources such as the library, tutors, writing centers, and labs. It takes doing more than necessary to get by, working on papers or studying for an exam when you'd rather be doing something else. It takes getting to know instructors, classmates, and staff members. Academic achievement involves strong commitment to one's education and focusing on one's goals, and we commend the recipients of this award. With the students in this group, these are the students who have a white card. Please proceed to the right side of the stage. John Poe. Alyssa Giannino. Alicia Smith. Samantha Phillips. Randy Stringer. Tara Becker. Robert Heppel. Charles Nickel. Maya Gilliam. David Gordon. Lourdes Capelon. Juliana Greco. Nicole Heimberger. Big round of applause. Now, Joseph Bryan will present the Meritorious Effort Award.
Good morning, I'm Joe Ryan. I'm a specialist also in the Access Office. Today I will be presenting awards for students who have displayed meritorious effort. Faculty and staff have nominated these students who have worked in an exemplary manner to make the most of their educational experience. A couple comments on the years of this year's nominees. This student works very hard and puts out an amazing effort. Also, this student is exceptional and also acts as a volunteer note taker. You can see the entire list of recipients of the Meritorious Efforts Award on page 3 of your program. I now invite the students who are here who have a pink card to come forward to the stage, please. also have one final group of awardees today. They will receive the award for meritorious effort and academic achievement. These students were also nominated by faculty and staff for meritorious efforts. In addition, they also achieved a grade point average of 3.0 or above in either spring or fall of 2015. A complete list of these awardees can be found on page 8 of the program. Would those students who have a green card please approach the stage to receive your award? Okay. Again, let's have a round of applause. At this point, I'm going to turn the microphone back to Linda.
We have wonderful students, faculty, and staff at St. Louis Community College, and I want you to know that students with disabilities are succeeding, as you can tell, at our college. 83% of the students with disabilities that work through our office receive a 2.0 or better. 61% of the students receive a 2.5 or better, and 36% of the students that work with our office receive a 3.0 or better. And so we're very, very grateful for all the support and help that all the faculty and staff give our students, and the fact that our students work very hard, and we love to watch them achieve. I want to thank our speaker, Colleen Starkloff, the students, faculty, staff, administration, and the amazing Access Office staff that I have the fortune to work with. Renee Digman, Teresa Smythe, and Joe Bryant are our specialists. And Jane Tucker came back, who was one of our specialists who just retired. And we also have Rachel Sussman and Debbie Koenig, who are our support staff. Debbie's waving up there. And we're very fortunate to have Lance Hedforth with us. He is sometimes works in our office and has been taking pictures for us today. Many of you have met Max during the time, Lance during the time. So I want to let you know that at this time, any award recipients can pick up their awards in the theater lobby. We invite you to join us for a celebration in the reception in the cobblestone of the HE building. And I thank you so much for your support and for coming today. And we look forward to another year of wonderful, wonderful achievement from our